Hi everyone, happy Thursday and welcome to Throwback Thursday. So every week we visit a major financial and economic event that has happened over time and we uncover what happened, why it happened and the lesson learned from it. So let's dive into today's story. For this week, we'll be looking into the 1929 Great Depression. And before we dive in, let me clear something. So when economists talk about depression, it is not sadness. So depression basically is a long and severe downturn in economic activity where businesses closes down, unemployment remains high, people spend less, and it takes a long time for the economy to recover. This story began in the 1920s, a period in the United States known as the Roaring Twenties. So during this period, the economy was booming, factories even produced way beyond their normal production, businesses were expanding, and the stock market was on fire. Everyone wanted to invest and buy shares because they believe it is an easy way to make wealth. And people who had no understanding of how the stock market worked were also buying shares because they believed that stock prices would definitely go up, which is a wrong idea. People became so confident that they started borrowing money in order to invest. Imagine getting a bank loan because you are convinced that your investment will double next month. So, as more people bought shares, the share price kept rising. And there was an issue because the share price actually rose beyond even what the company is worth because people were not buying basically because the company was doing well. They were buying because they believed that they will be able to sell it at a higher price then make a future. And that's what we call a financial bubble. So what went wrong? By 1929, some investors noticed that the stock prices were unsustainably high. So they started selling. And this led to a fall in the stock price, in which was noticed by a whole lot of people, and panic spread across the market. So everybody wanted to sell, but there were fewer buyers. On October 24, 1929, known as Black Thursday, millions of shares were actually sold in panic. And a few days later, October 29, 1929, known as Black Thursday, the stock market actually experienced one of the biggest crashes in history. Billions of dollars in wealth has actually disappeared over time. Most people think that the stock market crash actually caused the Great Depression. It's actually not entirely true, although it contributed to making the situation a much more worse one. So what happened was most banks had invested in the stock market or lent to investors who bought shares. And as the price of stock prices actually fell, these borrowers could no longer repay their loan, leading to bank failure. So as this news spread about bank failing, a whole lot of customers rushed to withdraw their savings. But the problem was banks don't keep all customers' money in their vaults. Most of it has been lent out. And with this increasing demand from customers wanting to withdraw their savings, banks could no longer meet their demands and they were forced to close down. The whole world felt this impact. Businesses could no longer access loans, so they stopped hiring. Some companies had to close down completely. Factories reduced their production. Families lost their home. At one point, 25% of Americans were unemployed, and this crisis actually spread globally because countries traded with one another. How did the government respond? In 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt became the President of the United States of America, and he introduced a series of economic programs known as the New Deal. So the New Deal is a program aimed at providing relief, recovery, and reform. So the government invested heavily in public infrastructures, built homes, schools, bridges, and this created millions of jobs for people, put money back into their pocket, and actually stimulates economic activity. To restore trust in the banking system, Roosevelt declared a temporary bank holiday, closing down banks until they've been inspected and allowing financially sound banks to reopen. So this helped stop the panic and reassure the customers that their money was safe. It also introduced stronger banking regulation and created deposit insurance through the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, protecting customers' deposits even if a bank fails. These reforms restored confidence in the financial system and laid the foundation for a more stable banking system. The Great Depression teaches us a lot of lessons, and one of it is confidence is one of the most valuable assets in an economy. Once people lose trust, panic can spread immediately. And it also emphasized the need for a strong banking system as being essential for economic stability. And lastly, it emphasized the role that the government and the central bank actually plays in preventing financial crisis. The economy is not just about numbers. Behind every financial crisis, every event, every market crash are actually real people, real businesses, and real families whose lives are being affected. The Great Depression remains one of the most studied economic events in history because it transformed the banking system, it changed the role of government in managing the economy, and influences policymakers when they have decisions to make. Next Thursday, we'll revisit another defining moment in economic history because understanding yesterday's crisis actually helps us to make better decisions in today's economy. See you next Thursday. Bye.